Hello students, welcome to a lesson through the virtual training center of the Brihan Mumbai Mahanagar Palika. My name is Shraddha teacher, and in this lockdown period, since we are not able to go to school, children, we will be doing many lessons here online through the virtual class. So come on, let's proceed to our lesson for today.
And students, it will be a lesson for standard 7th English, and the name of the lesson is The Souvenir. So now let us see what this lesson is about. So when I say the word souvenir, does it strike to you? Have you heard this word before? Okay, keep thinking. As we do the lesson, I will tell you what it is. So children, this lesson or this particular story in your textbook is related to a school trip. Now, all of us, when we were children, we have gone on school trips, isn't it? Our teacher has taken us, and sometimes in a bus, and sometimes we even go by trains if we are going to a faraway place. And we are so excited about going for a trip that we start preparing days in advance. And of course, our parents have to permit us, isn't it? And once we get permission from our parents and once we pay the fees to the school, we prepare ourselves very enthusiastically to go on the school trip. So, usually, where do we go on school trips? So, we go to a zoo sometimes where we get to see a variety of animals, and sometimes we even go to a place like a museum. Okay, now sometimes our teacher takes us on a study trip. She takes us to a museum and she shows us so many different things over there, paintings and statues and artifacts, and we get to learn also so many things. Some picnics or some trips we go just for enjoyment. Our teacher takes us to a park or she takes us to a beach. Okay, now in this particular lesson, the trip or the journey or the picnic is a little different, because the girl in this poem, her name is Saili, she is going on a journey to the moon. All right, so children, think about this. So is it a story which is set in today's times, or is it a story which is set in the future? Is it futuristic? Yes, it is futuristic, because in today's situation, there is no way that we can go to the moon for a picnic. But here, the story, it is set in a time much ahead of now. That is maybe 100 years from now, when it will become so easy for all of us to go to the moon for a picnic. Okay? And who are the people who are going to the moon? It is this girl called Saili. And this is Saili's trip to the moon. So when Saili talks to her mother tells her that when her mother was small and when she was going to school, the place that she could go farthest was to another country. All right. And even Saili tells her that yes, her friend's grandmother told her that the farthest place she could go was to another city. But Saili is living in a very modern world technologically, and she is lucky enough. And now we will see about, or we will learn about Saili's trip to the moon. Let us see what all Saili does there. And then how is the lesson connected to a souvenir? So I told you I will tell you what the meaning of a souvenir is. So a souvenir means nothing but a gift. Okay, so what is a souvenir? The meaning is that it is a thing that is kept or it is gifted as a reminder of a person, place, or event. Okay, so a souvenir is a gift, but it is a little different because it is something which is kept as a reminder of a person. So now sometimes when you go to someone's birthday party, okay, or when you go to a marriage, or when you go to some place, for example, if you're going to a place like say Delhi, or if you're going to a place like Goa. Now Goa, you know, it is a place which has got a lot of beaches, a lot of seashores. So there you will get so many small items or gifts which are made out of seashells, etc, isn't it? So when you bring something back from there, and when you give it to your mummy, or when you give it to your neighbor, or when you give it to your classmate, then that is called as a souvenir. So what is a souvenir? A souvenir is a thing that is kept or gifted as a reminder of a person, a place or an event. Okay. So now, where do you get such souvenirs, children? Now, when you go to such places, you will see such souvenir shops. So when you go to places like Delhi, Mumbai, or you go to places like Goa, which are famous and where many tourists go often, you will see many shops selling these kind of souvenirs. Now, when you go to Agra, okay, you know that there is a very famous monument over there, the Taj Mahal, which is also a part of the, you can say, wonders of the world, isn't it? So when you go to Agra, you will see that people usually bring back a miniature Taj Mahal. That is a small version of a Taj Mahal, and they keep it at home. So whenever they see the Taj Mahal there at home on the sitting on the showcase, they remember that yes, we had been to Agra and we had seen this particularly famous place. Okay, so now you know what a souvenir is. So now our friend Siley, she has gone to the moon. Okay, so she is going to bring back something for her loved one, that is her mother, and from the moon she is going to bring it. So let us see what happens and let us see what all Siley does when she is on her trip to the moon. So this is our friend Siley, and now she is in a very good mood and she is very happy, and she sits in a spaceship and she zooms away and she goes to the moon along with her teacher and along with many of her other friends. Okay, so on the moon she goes and she does many different activities. Now, fortunately or unfortunately, when she lands on the moon, it is all night. Okay, she stays there for 3 days, but all the 3 days it is night time. So now what all activities do? They do some sky watching. Now from the moon they try to observe the sky and they see a lot and lot of stars in the sky. So they do some sky watching, and from the moon Siley also gets an opportunity to see Earth. So see, Earth looks very very big from the moon. So Siley is lucky enough that she goes to the moon, and from the moon she gets to see the Earth. So can you see Siley sitting and observing the Earth? And now Siley has worn all those clothes also, okay? Because Siley has to breathe, and on the moon there is no atmosphere. So Siley has to wear all the clothes that the astronaut wears. Okay, so Siley does some night watching, she does some earth watching, and she also visits a circus on the moon. Now children, this is an imaginary story. This is a science fiction story. Okay, so it doesn't mean that actually when you go to the moon, or maybe when people go to the moon, they find a circus over there. This is just a imaginative story about science, about something related to science. So it is called as science fiction, a story based on science. Okay, so our friend Siley, she goes and visits the circus also, and there she sees a number of wonderful things in the circus. You know what all things we see in the circus? We see animals and we see people who are doing different kind of tricks. All right, we see the clown, the joker. So all these things Siley also sees when she goes to the moon and when she goes to the circus on the moon. After that, you will see that Siley sees this person. Now he's Neil Armstrong. Okay, he was the person who first set foot on the moon, and see, this is his foot mark. All right, so these things are also preserved there. They have this particular foot mark preserved, and you know, like you go to a museum on earth, in the same way Siley goes to a place where this foot mark has been preserved, and there is also a statue of this person, Neil Armstrong, and there it is written also, inscribed on stone, one small step for a man, one giant leap of mankind. That means for Neil Armstrong, it was just one small step. For mankind, for humanity, it was a great leap. It was a giant leap. Okay, so Siley, our friend, sees all these things and she's really, really happy and excited. And she doesn't realize how the 3 days have passed away quickly. And soon it is time to go home. But then Siley suddenly remembers that, oh my God, I have not bought any gift. I have not bought any souvenir for my mother. Okay, and now Siley wonders what she should do, and she quickly thinks that no, I cannot go home without buying a gift for my mother. She goes to a souvenir shop and she buys a small gift for her mother. Now, what is the gift? It is a pair of red stone earrings. Now, these stone earrings are made up of stone which is found on the moon. And so Siley is happy that she's finally bought something for her mother, and this is a souvenir that she's bought for her mother. So whenever her mother sees this, she will remember that yes, my daughter Siley had gone to the moon and she had got this for me from the moon. Okay, so both mother and daughter are happy, and Siley ends up giving the gift to her mother. But then, when her mother tries to wear it, they realize that the thing is very, very heavy. The earring is very heavy. What is the reason for that? The reason for that is anything which weighs 1 kg on the moon will weigh 6 kgs on earth. Okay, why is that so? That is because the gravitational force differs. So anything, if you are taking a small earring on the moon, if you're holding it, it will not be heavy for you. But when you bring it to the earth, it will weigh 6 times. So can you imagine? How can you wear such a heavy thing in your ears? So suddenly they realize that, oh, the gift is beautiful, but it will remain as a souvenir. It will not be used as a jewelry because it is very heavy. Okay, so that was the story about the souvenir. Now, this particular story is written by this particular person called Lakshman Londe, and he was a noted Marathi novelist. Okay, he used to write novels in Marathi, and he used to also write science fiction in Marathi. So, this is an example of science fiction, children. The lesson we studied just now is a story based on science fiction. And this particular story was written in Marathi and it was called Bhet. Now, Bhet, as we all know in Marathi, means a gift. Okay, so what did Siley bring back for her mother as a bhet or as a gift or as a souvenir? She bought back a beautiful pair of red stone earrings, which unfortunately her mother may not be able to wear because it is too heavy on the earth. Okay, so that was the story, children, of the souvenir. Now, what you can do is you can understand the story better when you open the textbook yourself and you read the story. And what you should do is whenever you sit down to read a story from the textbook or read anything from the textbook, you please sit with your dictionary with you. Now, why is it necessary to have your dictionary? Because whenever you come across any difficult word, what you can do is immediately you can turn the pages of the dictionary and you can check the meaning. Okay, so now this is your homework or your assignment. Now you have understood what the storyline is of the story Souvenir. So now after you finish watching this video, you will sit down, you will open your textbook and you will read the story. Okay, so that was about the story. Now whenever we do a lesson in English, what do? We read the story, we try to understand the gist of the story, and then we go on and we do some grammar part which is there in your textbook. We do some exercises based on vocabulary also. So let us start now with this exercise based on vocabulary. So you have to guess the meaning of this particular word which is given, and after guessing the meaning you have to write the smaller and related words that you see within this particular word. So when you see this word, for example, see, this is the word EXORBITANTLY, exorbitantly. See how you say it? Listen to me saying it carefully and repeat after me, okay? Exorbitantly. Now, what is the meaning of exorbitantly? Exorbitantly means going far beyond what is fair, reasonable, or expected. So, when you want to buy something, you think that okay, this could be the price. For example, if I want to buy a t shirt belonging to a particular company, I know that it will cost me around 500 or 600 rupees. But when I go to the shop and when I check the price, if I see that the price written there is 6,000, then I will say, oh my god, the price is exorbitant. Okay, or it is exorbitantly priced. Means it is too high, the price is too high and it is very, very expensive. Alright, so exorbitant means too much or too high or something which is not fair. You must have seen this sometimes when you go to the malls to watch movies. If you try to go and buy a packet of popcorn, so the popcorn which will cost you 50 rupees outside might cost you 500 rupees inside the mall. So what do you say? You say the popcorn is exorbitantly priced. Okay, let's look at an example. One more example of exorbitantly. So the hotel charged us exorbitantly. So you went and you ate something in a particular hotel, and the hotel, it charged you exorbitantly. It took too much of money from you. Okay, now we go to the next part of the exercise. Write the smaller and related word that you see within this particular word. So a word which is related to the lesson. So there are many words you can pick out, but the word which is related to the lesson will be the word orbit. Okay, you all know the meaning of the word orbit. We have learnt it in geography. So it is the path on which a planet or a heavenly body travels, an orbit. You can also pick out other words as an additional exercise. For example, see, you can pick out the word bit, you can pick out the word and, okay, you can pick out the word or, you can pick out the word it. So it is up to you. That is an additional exercise. But what is the word that we are looking for? It is orbit. It is related to the lesson. So this was one example, children. I will do a few more examples with you, and then the remaining words will be homework for you. It will be your assignment. So this is how we will do a lesson. As I teach you the lesson on the way, I will keep on giving you some or the other assignments. So this is assignment number 2 for today. Assignment number 1 was to read the lesson with a dictionary at your side. Look at the second word now. So the second word that we have for today is precautions. Okay, precautions. Precautions. So what do precautions mean? Precautions mean care which is taken in advance or steps which are taken in advance. Okay, like for example, we use another word also. We sometimes say prevention is better than cure. So if you can prevent a disease, it is better than getting the disease and then curing it. So precaution also means taking some steps in advance so that you are not faced with a dangerous or with an unpleasant situation. So precautions is the second word. Let us see the word in a sentence. So when riding, she always wears her helmet as a precaution. But helmets are, remember children, compulsory also. Okay, so you don't have a choice. But you can use this as an example. So when you ride a scooter, when you ride a bike, you always wear a helmet as a precaution so that when you fall, you do not get a head injury. Okay, so this is an example sentence for precaution. Let us go to the second, you can say exercise here. So finding out the related word. So the related word is cautions. Now if you read the lesson, you will try and find out where this word caution comes up in the lesson also. Okay, so try to locate these particular words in the lesson. This is also part of your assignment. As you read the lesson, underline these particular words. Let's do one more word before we skip to the next exercise. So the next word is, it is unauthorized. Unauthhorized. Unauthorized means what? What is the meaning of unauthorized? Not having official permission or approval. Okay, so now there are so many things. Now we are in the COVID pandemic situation, isn't it? So there are so many normal things which are not authorized in today's times. They are unauthorized today. For example, we used to go and attend marriages, and now in this Ganpati season, we used to go in crowds to take darshan of our Ganpatis. Okay, Ganpati Bappas in big, big pandals. But you will see this year, all that was unauthorized. Matlab, they were not having official permission or approval. So, unauthorized means doing something without official permission or the permission of that particular local government. Okay, now let us see an example sentence here. So see, unauthorized vehicles will be wheel clamped or towed away. So vehicles which are unauthorized, which are parked here and there in places which are no parking zones, what do? The traffic police, they come and they take the vehicle away. Okay, they attach it to a crane and they pull it away. That is called as towing. Or what they do, they take a kind of a clamp or a lock and they put it on the wheel so that the owner will not be able to drive away in that particular car. So unauthorized vehicles will be wheel clamped or towed away is an example sentence. Okay, let us look at a word related here. So the word is authorize. Okay, you can also pick up many other words like author, and other words also you can pick up like rise. So that is your assignment. So from each word you will try to create at least 4 words. Alright children, so this was the vocabulary exercise. Now if you turn the pages of your textbook, you will see there are a few more words over there. That is also assignment for you. Now let us move on from the vocabulary section to the grammar section. And in the grammar section, we are going to talk about a particular type of common noun called as collective nouns. So let us see what are collective nouns, what is the meaning of collective nouns, and also many examples of collective nouns. So some nouns, they stand for a number of persons or things taken together. They are called as collective nouns. So there are particular nouns which represent a group of people or a group of things. Not one person or one thing, but a group of people or a group of things. So they represent a collection. So they are called as collective nouns. Okay. So let us try and see the meanings, or let us try and understand a few more examples. So another type of common noun. So what is a collective noun? It is another type of common noun, and it refers to a group of things or people. Okay, for example, see this in red, you will see the examples: a crowd of people, a bunch of grapes, a swarm of bees. So these words crowd, bunch, and swarm, they are examples of collective nouns. Okay children, let us look at some more examples. So collective nouns could be for people. Like for example, we say a gang of thieves. So thieves means robbers, people who steal things from others. So when it is one person who's come to steal from your house, you will say a robber had come to my place, or you will say a thief had come to my place. But if it is more than one person, if a group of people had come, then you will say a gang of thieves had come to my place. Okay, or a gang of thieves had robbed that building. Now for animals also there are certain collective nouns. The example here, see, crows. Okay, so a crow is a kind of bird. So if you see one crow, you will say crow. And if you see a number of crows together, then they have a very interesting name. They're called as a murder of crows. Now murder also has a very dangerous meaning. You all must be knowing, isn't it? The murder also means taking someone's life forcibly, and it is a crime and you will go to jail for that. But here murder means a group of crows. The next one, see, a fleet of ships. So when you have one particular ship, you will say a ship, and when it is more than one, you will say, instead of saying a group of ships, you will say a fleet of ships. All right, so this was about some examples of collective nouns. Let us see some more. So see, what is this called? Some people call it as a bunch of flowers also. But what do we actually call it? We call it a bouquet of flowers. A bouquet. Look at the spelling. B-O-U-Q-U-E-T. Bouquet of flowers. Alright. One more example here. What do you call this? There are a number of keys on this ring. Isn't it? So you don't call it as a ring of keys. You call it as a bunch of keys. B-U-N-C-H, bunch. Even for the fruit bananas, we say a bunch of bananas. Alright, see one more. What is this? We call it as trash, we call it as rubbish, we call it as garbage, kachra. Okay, there is a word for it, and that is a heap of rubbish. Sometimes you can also say a pile of rubbish. Alright, so these are all examples of collective nouns. Let's look at some more examples. So for people, you say group, crowd, team, gang, board, jury, class. For animals, you could say herd, flock, swarm, pack, pride, nest, and gaggle. And for others, that is for things, you can say bunch, pile, set, group, series, collection. Okay, now there is one more exercise or one more assignment coming your way. So now in this middle group, you can see herd, flock, swarm, pack, pride, nest, gaggle. Now swarm is for bees. We saw the example previously. Gaggle is for geese. Alright, so now there are some more remaining. There are 5 words remaining. So herd. So what is this word used for? For which kind of animal? Flock is used for which kind of animal? What about pack? What about pride? What about nest? So find out. Alright, this is the next assignment for you for collective nouns. Let us go to the last set of examples here. So see, there are certain nouns which can be singular as well as plural. Collective nouns can also be in the singular and plural form. So you have group, groups, class, classes, band, bands, flock, flocks, cop, cops, gang, gangs, department, departments, association, associations, family, families. Okay, so children, today we saw the lesson, we understood the gist of the lesson, and we did an exercise in vocabulary and one more exercise in grammar.
So children, wasn't that a wonderful video? And did you enjoy watching it? So if you want to watch more such videos in future, then please like this video and also subscribe to our channel, the MCGM Portal for Education, and also hit the bell button so that you get notified whenever I upload a new video here. Thank you so much for now. Let's meet again soon.